Today, we become legends.
So there's been a lot of rumours circulating about Smite 2 and the end of SPL on Twitter and Reddit recently. It mainly started from this post from an anonymous account claiming to be an SPL player leaking the information. They used a burner account as the pros are supposedly under NDA about the topic and he doesn't want to get sued. Quote, "Hi, SPL Player here. We were informed a few days ago that SPL was getting cancelled for next season. Most of this money will be used by Hi-Rez to fund Smite 2's ad campaigns, which includes having big streamers play the new game, and a kickoff streamer tournament. If Smite 2 does well, they might bring back SPL in the future." It's a long thread and more than this is discussed in more detail, but that's the general gist of it. Hi-Rez are supposedly cancelling SPL for next season to fund a launch campaign for Smite 2 and pay big streamers to play it. So is this whole thing legit or just an elaborate troll? Well, here's what it has going for it. Hi-Rez Stu tweeted out earlier this year around the launch of Year 10 asking people what they would expect from a Smite 2. This doesn't necessarily mean they are actively working on it, but it lends at least some credence to this theory as Smite 2 is clearly being somewhat considered at Hi-Rez, if the CEO is actually tweeting about it. Also, Hi-Rez very recently put out a job request for a brand specialist for Smite, which could be nothing more than a new person to manage the regular branding for the actual game, but it could equally be a lead brand manager for these supposed campaigns for Smite 2. Impossible to say really, but it does sort of point in that direction. I think Smite 2 is honestly a 50-50 at this point. It's risky since Smite is Hi-Rez cash cow that consistently pulls in players, relevance and money to Hi-Rez, but they're no strangers to taking risks, as evident by their many games that try to break into a new genre and ultimately fail. Making a Smite 2 would basically be a cards on the table gambit play for Hi-Rez. It could be amazing and revitalise Smite, making it more competitive with the top MOBAs like League or Dota, or it could equally be trash and kill the game if they deactivate Smite 1. I've seen a lot of people saying it's dead on arrival because people have invested too much in the base game, but I can't imagine a world where they make a Smite 2 and don't transfer people's progress and skins. Doing that would literally kill the game, as Smite is so well established at this point that a lot of the core community that keep the game alive and kicking has spent many years grinding stats and investing in skins. I imagine if Smite 2 does happen, which is a very real possibility given the evidence so far, it would be an engine upgrade to Unreal 4 or 5 and maybe some overhauls to underlying mechanics and systems. More of a gigantic season-style update than a completely new game. So Smite 2 is definitely possible, perhaps even probable at this point, but the SPL rumours I'm not quite as sold on. I know that SPL doesn't make money for Hi-Rez. A lot of people are citing this argument saying that SPL must go, but they don't seem to understand that only the top 1 or 2% of esports scenes actually make money for the game or studio in question. They're not really meant to make money directly, they're meant to make relevance for the game. Having a pro league makes Smite be taken more seriously and keeps long-time players interested in the game and its development. That leads to more players spending money on the game in the long run, but still, they are paying salaries for dozens of players plus benefits and prizing, etc., so I can see why people might make this argument, but I would counter with that relevance argument. That said, could SPL be cancelled for next year? I think it's possible, but unlikely. They just recently hired 2 new SPL casters / analysts, and the whole #WorldsWithFans thing showed how much the core Smite player base really enjoys an esports scene. I think cancelling the league would be a terrible decision for Smite in the long run. If they need money to market a Smite 2, I think it should come from existing profits or run some kind of event for crowdfunding. Also, they could just not waste shit tons of money paying streamers that have no interest in Smite or MOBAs to play the game. It probably has a lower conversion rate than Raid Shadow Legends ads and is a waste of good money that could be spent actually making Smite 2 the best game it can be and promoting it to the right people. Paying Tim the Tatman to play DKO did nothing to stop that game dying because it had no development activity and wasn't being improved upon at all. No one cares how many famous streamers play a game when they're paid to do it if the game at the core is utter shit. That said, I think the post that started all of this could easily just be a salty Barra or Zap fanboy with their finger on the pulse of Smite to make it believable for drama or to actively hurt the game. Though I do feel a lot of evidence points to at least Smite 2 being considered, if not SPL being cancelled. Hi-Rez employees have also given multiple mentions to Year 11 and data mining has confirmed Year 11 is coming, so if a Smite 2 is happening, it's not until Year 12 at the absolute earliest in my opinion. But that's still all up in the air if it's even going to happen anyway. Also, on the SPL thing, it is worth noting that no real pros or coaches or anything have come out denying these rumours. That doesn't mean they're true necessarily, it could just be that pros are under NDA for something similar or something else completely and they still can't talk about it and deny or confirm the post. But you would imagine the pros have to be under some kind of agreement to not talk about similar things, or I imagine at least one pro would have come out denying the rumours if they weren't true. But yeah, we'll see in the coming months or years if any of this is even true or not. Just thought I'd make a video giving my thoughts on it since it was kind of blowing up within the dedicated Smite community. I know I'm a little bit late to covering it, but I didn't initially think it was worth making a video on, but I decided to pull the trigger now. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your own thoughts or theories on the Smite 2/Pro League cancellation down below, and I'll catch you guys in another one later on. Have a great day, and peace out, you nerds.